Hello, my people, and welcome to my kitchen where we haven't been in a hot minute. Why? One, because it's always a mess, and two, because I have been over this kitchen for like the last 2 years, which is like basically the entire time I lived here. But we just signed to extend our lease for another year. So if my kitchen's not going to get any prettier anytime soon, we're going to try our best to make it prettier. And that's what we're on a mission to do today. Let's take a look around. You know her, you love her, you've been here before, and don't tell me to clean the kitchen before y'all come in here because we're about to make a bigger mess. My biggest gripe with this kitchen is it's a beautiful sunny day right now. It's broad daylight. It's literally the middle of the afternoon. I have a whole track of ceiling lights. They all point directly at this space. There's also two other lights over here that are also on and pointing at this space. And I feel like it's so dark in here. And a lot of that just has to do with things that are out of my control, like the color of the cabinets and the countertops. If I had a light, bright, white kitchen, like every content creator wants and has, we would be in a different situation. But instead, I have this. I'm just trying my best to find ways that are renter friendly to brighten up the space. And so today we're going to do a little Clark Fix It time. I don't know. I was going to say Bob the Builder, but is this like Clark the Constructor? I don't know. Because I got this. I acquired a massive pile of sticky tiles. Now, do I love these? No, but I feel like they're better than what we have. The backsplash we have, it gives like 2013. I think it dates the kitchen one, and I have used these before. I put these in an old house I had because we didn't have the money for like a full-fledged backsplash, so we just did sticky tiles directly onto drywall. I don't really know how that turned out because I don't live there anymore, but I feel like these are a good renter friendly option because I've seen people pull them off the tile. Now, here is my thought process. These stick really well if you like wipe the surface with alcohol and all that good stuff. The big thing that I've always thought with these is that the concern is here by the stove. Because they're plastic and this is like your high heat spot, you just don't want there to be meltage and things that are going to create a nasty, bad situation because they tell you you need to have an 8-inch distance between you and the burner. This is like, what do you think that is? 2 inches? And I don't get a choice in this. We can't change it. I've thought about putting some type of barrier here up the wall to block it, but that's going to cost us more money. And these tiles were already over $200, okay? We put this off from the initial like kitchen clean out we did to kind of keep my counters cleaner and stuff. Don't even look at this egg towel Aaron put out. So I think what we really need to do is just start and see where it goes. Now, I only show this little corner of my kitchen because this is usually the only part I'm willing to keep clean. And I have a lot of kitchen appliances, but this back wall is 14 feet long. And it's just going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot of cutting, a lot of unscrewing these outlet covers because I'm not going straight around them. If you do that when you paint and stuff, you're lazy, and I will die on that hill. But I think they'll just help brighten the space. I am going to put them vertically. I don't like this. Something about this, it does it for me. So we're going to go up and down. I think I'm going to just Windex the surface and then go from there. I figured I was in this outfit. My hair's greasy as hell. I felt like it was giving construction. So I felt like it was time for us to get our hands a little dirty. Okay? So let's get into it. So let's talk about these tiles that I'm using a little bit. They do come with instructions on the back of how you apply them, and it does say to wipe the surface down with rubbing alcohol. It does say to give you instructions on how to cut it with a knife or an X-Acto knife. So when it comes to cost, the cost really is mainly the tiles if you have some of these other supplies, which I did have. At the end of the video, I'm going to break down exact costs for everything you would need and everything that I actually had, but they're incredibly easy to put up. I just used a sharp, almost like a box cutter, and scissors, and that really got the job done here. I also had this flat, almost scraper thing to help press these into the corners, because the corners are going to be your hardest part. Any kind of uneven edge is where this is going to get a little dicey for you. The biggest decision you're going to have to make is where to start. And where you start is where the biggest continuous line in your kitchen is. So, because this section of my kitchen was the exact height of one of these tile sheets, it made perfect sense to start here because I could use the most whole sheets and keep this center line of the tiles going the entire way across the kitchen. Once you get as far across with that center line as you want to go, the next part that you're going to do is as many whole sheets as you can around different edges. And you'll notice I left that little slice there by the microwave open until I got to this part. It's because you want to leave the most difficult corners last. You can find little slices that you have left over to fill those in, to utilize the most amount of your sheet at a time. One tip I'm going to give you about laying these tiles on top of existing tile is you are obviously not laying this on a flat surface. And that became very prevalent to me when I was working in this corner of my backsplash, because there is a tile here that, I kid you not, sticks out a few millimeters from the wall. I don't know how this happened. I don't know if the tiles settled weird or something, but you can see it in these tiles. My best advice to you is just follow the grooves. Just try to get it as flat as possible. Make sure that it's just working with the contours of whatever you got going on. We are not aiming for perfection here because actual tiles are also going to have contours to them. Just make sure you're aware of where those parts of your backsplash are. so good. It really does. So now we're going to put the kitchen back together a little bit. I do have like a tiny little section that I'll show you that I have to finish. I need to order one more pack. I ordered 7 packs of tiles and we were like literally one shy. So that should be here, and then I'll show y'all what it looks like when it's all finished up. If you remember my other kitchen redo video, I bought these. Oh, I think this one, there it goes. I bought these little lights that go underneath the counter here. I think these will be really nice, and also using this white backsplash to kind of reflect that light off more now that we're also putting all the appliances I have back that are going to inevitably end up blocking a lot of this anyways. But overall, I think she looks pretty good. Hopefully this bounces a little bit more light than my dark backsplash. A pro tip from me with any home project is don't be afraid to do it in phases. I know sometimes it's really hard to want to live in a half-finished project, but sometimes that will save you your mental sanity and also give you the space to do your project really well. It can be really tedious to lay these down, have to cut them exactly, trying to figure out ways to bend your body halfway upside down on this counter to just see where you're cutting. Sometimes taking that step away to come back in a better headspace and make your kitchen look as beautiful as possible is going to be something that you thank yourself for later. Oh my god, it's been 2 days. Do you see why we never film in this half of the kitchen? Because, again, broad daylight, lights on, it's still this dark over here. That's why we never use this part of the kitchen. But we have one last little corner to finish. And I really risked it and only got one more pack because I'm trying to, be as cheap as possible. But there's 5 sheets in here. And I feel like we're going to cut it close, but I feel like we can do it. But I've already gotten so many compliments saying that this looks a billion times better. So let's finish. I found one lone dry pasta noodle behind my ice machine. Something that I found that I mentioned earlier in this video is that this became a lot more efficient when I started cutting these sheets in half. So I think I'll be able to use this part from the same one possibly to make this a little more efficient. Hopefully. We will see. Now let's break down what this actually cost me. So, I inevitably ended up having to cover almost 50 square feet of backsplash, which I incredibly underestimated. It took me 9 packs of these tiles. 7 of those packs I got on sale. 2 of those I had to pay the full price for. Overall, the tiles themselves cost me $301.92. For other supplies that I use for this, I would recommend either rubbing alcohol or some type of Windex to clean the surface. You're going to need an X-Acto knife or a box cutter, and you're going to need a good sturdy pair of scissors. Overall, if you need to purchase all of those supplies brand spanking new, I think the extra supplies might run you about $50 extra. And I would say this is definitely an investment. If you're only going to enjoy it for a little while, I don't think it's worth it. But I'm excited for how this is going to change my kitchen and that I get to enjoy it for the many moons to come. If you have any questions for me, just make sure to leave them down in the comments, and if you found this video helpful, give it a like. Also, make sure to subscribe to see all the wonderful things that we will be making in the foreseeable future in this beautiful kitchen. Thank you as always for joining me here at the table, and hopefully I will see you at the table again soon. Bye!